Yeah, hi.
Good morning, sir.
So today we will concentrate on Sqlite. So let first we will create a project on Sqlite, on name of Sqlite. So MTV's activity, and I created Sqlite example. So here like we'll take a few details like name, email ID, mobile number, and like 4 or 5 details so that we can add into the database. And after that, we will see how we used to get the data. Here we will see that. We will add in the SQLite database, and after that, we will get that values back to our layer. So for that, here I'm creating here. This is the linear layout, and here I'm changing this as orientation equal to so vertical. Right. So here I'll create a data binding. So this constraint layout properties I am removing. So here we will add SQLite example. So this I'll change as so. For this case, it should not be text, right? It should be hint. So first one hint we will take as name. Right. So for this we will create ID equal to @ plus ID. So that is name. Right. So these are the like name. We add other things. So name this I'll change as location. So ID also I'll change as location. Right. Next to this I'm changing as a designation. So these three values I want to save in the database. Right. So these three values we will save in the database. Once this project is loaded, once we enable the data binding, and then we can proceed the next. So here the SQLite is nothing but it's a modified version for the SQL that is for low memory devices. So it is almost similar as SQL, but it is modified for the low memory devices. But whatever the database we create here, we cannot see physically in our systems. We cannot see that database. Only we can create virtually, we can create here. So whatever we created the data directly we can access through program only, but we cannot see what is the data is saved in that particular database. We cannot see that. So here now we will create one button to save that data. So button, match parent, wrap content, and ID. So that is save. Text. So save. Done. So now here we will add a data byte. So here I'm adding the data binding. Data binding enable equal to. So once this data binding gradle is synced, we will see the next step. So meanwhile here we will add the data binding thing where binding colon. So activity main binding equal to none, and binding equal to data binding util dot, right? So up to this is our regular activity only. Even next two steps also our regular activity. After that, this Sqlite will start. Right, next binding that. Say that set on. Right. So here where as for name, let us write name equal to, so binding that name dot text dot to string. So even here also we are saving in a database, right? So we will do that, right? Done. Next where location equal to, so binding that location dot text dot to string dot click where designation. So three fields, right? Designation equal to binding dot designation dot text dot to string string. That right now here I want to do the database activity. So to do database activity here, I'm creating one common class that is DB handler. I'm creating, this is my own. So this is my own, I'm creating one method DB handler. So using this DB handler only, we will handle the entire data here. So using this class DB handler. So here this is the rate main pictures of the context right. Now with this name, I'm creating one class. Means in this class, whatever the database queries are there, all the queries we can handle within this. So we created one separate class because whatever the query like insert, delete, maybe I can do with multiple places with multiple classes. So if we create like this, easily we can handle this with from multiple things. So that's it. So here what I'll do here, this is now it is tightly coupled to the main activity. So that's the reason I changed this constructor value as context. So that from any of the class you can access this. So here we will import the context. So any of the class we can access this. Now it's extended as Sqlite. So Sqlite open helper. So extended as Sqlite helper. So it has few values. One is the context. Next is the DB name. So context. Next is the database name. So we should create a name. So name. Then so see here it's showing the context string that is a name. Next is the factory, the database cursor factory. So this we will give null. So it's not a mandatory. So the next is the DB version. So DB underscore version. So which version of DB we should mention here. Right. So this is the one we created here. Right. So once we created this, here it is asking that implement members. So on create and two methods will be created here automatically. That is on create and this. So on top of this, now we will create one init class. So we will create one class here to do the all the database operations what we are doing. So to create that we are creating one companion object. So within this companion object, we will write the things. So that is private constant value. So DB version. So whatever the DB version we are mentioning, like this is first version, right? So I'm adding the one like here next. So this is instead of this, we'll change DB name, right? So I'm creating a DB. So what is the DB name? So here we are saving the user data, right? So users DB. I'm creating like this users DB. Right. Next one, table name. So table. So table users. So table name I'm creating as a table users equal to so user details something user details, right? So this user details I'll make it small because to understand the difference. Right, next constant value. So this is the key. First one is the ID. Key ID. ID equal to ID. So this is the one ID. Means total we are saving 3 values, but along with the 3 values, we will add the fourth value. So first one is the ID, second one is the name. So second one is the name, third one is the location. So third one is the location. So here third one LOC, like location. So that key is enough LOC. And the next is the designation. So and write like this designation. Like okay, this one I'll define as a designation. This one I define as a location. This one I define as a name. So these all are the data we are trying to save now in the database. So whatever the values you are saving, that companion object means all the names things you can create within this, right? Now here we are creating a database. So where you can create? So in this here, now we are creating a database. So first database means first you should create here table. So create a table. Database is already available, so we can create a table here. So how to create here? Where are val something. So here you can try to create table. So I'm writing like this, create table. This is my define. Okay. So within this, I'm writing here, this is the query. Now, whatever I'm writing, that is a query. So create table, right? Create table. So that is already we created a table name. So what is the table users? So we are creating the table. So plus with which values we are creating, so that we have to declare here. So first of all, key so key ID. So with key ID, so that is so this key ID I'm planning here as a integer primary. So this is the primary integer primary key. That too that we want to we are not collecting the ID from the user interface. So this is auto increment. Like previously, if it is a 2 means now it will pick a 3. Like so auto done. So this is the first which is done here. So next second here. So second one here is the key name. So key name, this is the in the form of text. Right. Go. Next key location. Right. Key location plus. So this is also in the form of text. I want this. Next key. So next key designation. Right. So plus this is also in the form of text. Done. So key designation. So here now it's supposed to close. This is one brace and this is one brace. Two braces should close here. This. So Done. So this should be created like this. Now here I'm writing the query. So that is DB. DB means here SQL database, it is declared here by DB dot execute SQL. Now I'm executing the query. So what query am I executing? Above create table query I'm executing. Right. Now with this, the table has created here. So the table has created. Right. In case, for example, let us say table is already exist. Right. I want to add one more extra column into this. So what we can do, so that we are using this upgrade method. So here directly I'm writing the DB dot. So whatever this executed, so that we are writing here. So DB dot execute SQL. So here we will write draft table if exist. So in case what we are saying, drop the table. If already table is available, it can be dropped and means what name it is, so that we have to get here table users. In case with this name table users, the table is available, so it can be dropped. Then what happens after dropping here? So it will call on create. So that whatever we created, the table will be created here. So that is the this. Now the table creation has done here, right? So once the table creation has done, here we supposed to do the next step. So what is the next step? Like next is here. So we used to insert the data. So how to insert the data? So for insert data here, we will create one insert user details. Insert user details. So that is name, string. So next what we are inserting here, location. So that is also in the form of string. Next, designation. So that is also string. So all are the string values we are inserting. So we are not inserting from here the primary key. That primary key will then insert automatically that. So we are creating this method. Oh, sorry, here this is not fun. This is fun. That's the reason here. Fun. Insert this we created. So now here we are creating one var db equal to this dot. Here we are inserting, so we are expecting writable database. So writable database. But here to insert these values, here we will use the concept called content values. See, as I like content values, where content values. So this is the one we will use, content values equal to. So content values, right? So here next content values dot put. So first one is the key name. So for the key name, what we've written above, so that we use to map name. Next content values dot put. So next is the key location. So above what we declared, that is location. Right, content values dot put. Next is the key designation. Right, so for this, set the designation. Done. Right. Now So we are inserting the data. So that is where new row ID. So we are creating a new row ID. So new row ID. New row ID equal to db dot insert. So where we are inserting in a table users. So insertion column of is null, then whatever the values we are taking, the content values, this is the insert, right? Then once the data inserted, you need to close the db correction. So db dot close, done. So insertion has done here, done. Next. So once that insertion has done, so we used to get the data right. So fun get users. I want to get the users. This is also user defined method, get users. I'm declaring this. So get users, this data we will get in the form of array list. So that's the reason here. I'm creating an array list. Within array list, I have created hash map. So within this hash map, I have created a string. Right. So here, where db. So that is this db equal to this at the rate writable database. Done. So now here I'm creating one user list where user list. So I'm creating this is where user list equal to array list. Array list from the array list, same whatever the return type we used, right? So that I'm writing here similar. So hash map string string. So both I added here like this. So whatever the data we are getting, that we used to write. Now we will do one query here. So query. So what is the query here? So that is select name, location, designation. So 3 from name, location, designation, from table users. So from this table users, so we want to get those values, name, comma, location, comma, designation. So those 3 values I want to get back to this. So while getting here now, it should be multiple data, right? We cannot expect only one value. So there is a chance to get multiple values. So here where cursor. So where cursor, that is db dot raw query. So in this, so whatever the above query we are executing, that we are putting here because multiple values we are expecting. That's the reason we use the cursor. So while cursor dot move to next means it will collect the data one by one and it will move step by step to the next level. So here whatever the data here it is getting. So here we use to write where user equal to, so that whatever the data it is coming, so that it will map to the hash map. So string, right? So here it will create the hash map of that whatever the data it is coming, so that it will map to the hash map, right? So within this hash map, what it will do here is now. So first case, it is getting the user. So user, whatever we declared above, that is a user. Within this user, so name. I want to get the name. So that is cursor dot get string. So that is cursor dot get column index. So we used to write the column index, means which from the which column this should get, so that we can get from the key name, right? So say can paste, we can paste it 2 times, right? So this we will change.
Okay, sure.
So this is the key location. This is the key designation. So here this we will change as a designation, right? So 3 data here we collected here. So once this 3 data here, it is available here, right? So next step, so this we have to add to the user list. So whatever the first we created array dot user list dot add. So what is this user data? Whatever the data it is collecting, step by step, it is added into this, so that it will be proper, it should be created, right? Then here, outside of this while loop, here it is written as. So whatever we are querying, so for us, we will get this complete user list. Means once the step by step all the data has done, that we will get here. So that is the this. So this is expecting something, so that I added the surprise, right? So this is the get user list. So let us say I want to delete the data. So fun delete user. So how to delete the user, we will see here. So delete user, that is we used to do with user ID. So right, we will do that with user ID. That is the integer part, because that we added as an integer primary, right? With reference of that we have to do here. So var db dot this db equal to this at the rate writable database. So db dot delete. So db dot delete. So from where, that is table users, comma e. So which reference of this key ID? So which reference of this key ID? Because this is what we are maintaining as primary. So that's the reason I'm querying with that. So whenever we are writing like this question mark means, it should be expecting the dynamic value. Like I don't know, now I'll pass 1, after some time I'll pass 2, after some time I'll pass 3, like that. It should be, we are expecting the different value. So that's the reason we used to write here this array of. So here user ID dot toString, whatever the user ID we are passing there, that it will come into this. So once this querying is done, you need to close the database connection. So db dot close that. So this is the like next I want to do update. Fun update user details, something method I can create it, update user details method. So for this here we want to give the return type is more, because here I want to add with reference of the name, I want to add the other piece like spring designation, next ID, so that is integer. So with these values I want to do this, right? So here that is int, right? We have to update the value. So here var db equal to this dot writable database. So here to do this, it is almost the same as content values. We need this content values. So I'll take this content values here. But here name we are not taking, we are taking this both values, right? With this both values, we are updating it. So return equal to return. So that is db dot update. So I want to update db. So where we have to update table users, comma. So whatever the values we are getting, that content values, that next year. So we are writing that query here now. So that is key ID. So with reference of the key ID equal to. So whenever just I told, right, this is a dynamic value. So then array of ID dot to string. Even here, if you want, you can add the name also. You can add. So then this is updation has done. Next step here. So what should we write here? Done. Here also, once this operation is done, db dot close. Done. So this is the thing. Like here, one more is there, that is like only I want to get the specific user with some conditions. We will write that query. Then how we need to integrate this in our user interface, that we will see in our next class.
Okay. Okay.